right. Okay. Hey guys, it's Andy Coleman. I have a very special guest today. I have Jessica Nto with eXp Realty. She's one of our top agents, and I am so excited to talk to her today. You guys are going to learn so much value from her. Jessica, it's so nice to have you.
Hey, what's up, Andy? I am super excited to be here. I love your show. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Why don't you just give a little brief introduction of yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm Jessica Nto. I am a real estate broker licensed in California, Washington, and Oregon. I got the West Coast covered. Straight over to you. You're in Florida, right, Andy?
Yes, Florida. Yep.
Yeah, Florida. So we've got the coast to coast covered between us. I have a real estate coaching business. I love this industry. Love to, work and develop other agents. I've been licensed since 2013. So just celebrated 10 years in the business in this last February. Four-time icon agent, if that means anything to you, at eXp Realty, joined in April of 2020. Love doing the podcast stuff. Again, happy to be here, Andy, and look forward to the conversation. I already know what I signed up for with you, so This is going to be fun.
Yes, I have a ton of questions for you. I want to jump right into it because I was so impressed with you. I don't get impressed with a lot of people, to be honest, but I was highly impressed with you because you had told me, being one of the top eXp agents, you're making a killing right now. So why don't you just talk us through just when you joined eXp, because I know that's when things really started to take off for you. So just talk about your deals done, your income for the past few years since you hit icon 4 times.
Yeah, absolutely. So my business partner and I, we've worked together for 10 years, actually a little over 10 years before I became licensed. Started a little bit in a different way than most realtors. I was working in an office where we were actually an auction bidding service for investors that were purchasing property, discounted properties at auction when, we had all those deals coming through, all the REOs. When those dried up, I really had to find what was I going to do? Because all those dried up, right, Andy? 2013, yes. 14, that's when I got licensed. So I was involved in thousands of transactions during that time, really like the only boot camp available to understand huge markets in lots of geographical areas. Didn't know how to be a, farming type agent, local realtor, and quite frankly, didn't want to do it. I love volume. I love numbers. But I did love people. So we got started in real estate with my license in 2013. My business partner and I started really targeting all those investors that we'd been working with, building relationships, et cetera. Got a whole great story about that. But to fast forward, we had a brokerage by 2020, right before the pandemic hit, right what happened in March, April of 2020, everybody was staying home. That's when we had gotten the word from a friend at eXp that it was, a great idea, great business opportunity. I'm one of those early adopter type people. If I had heard of eXp day one, I probably would have gone, but unfortunately I didn't. And when I learned about eXp, I said, yes, call me when there's paperwork to sign, hung up, and we signed up. The greatest thing for us in the beginning, everything that we went to eXp for didn't turn out to be the reasons why we've stayed, which is interesting. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
But for the reasons why we went, it was all business. I was all business. And, that immediately helped.
At that point, let me ask you then, at that point, how many deals were you doing when you joined eXp?
We were doing hundreds a year between my business partner
Hundreds of deals a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot. For anybody that's not into my phone just went off. For anybody that's not into real estate, hundreds of deals a year, that's unheard of. Most agents do a handful of deals. I think the average is 7 deals per year. So for Jessica to be doing hundreds of deals per year, that's absolutely phenomenal. So what kind of deals were you doing, and how were you doing so many deals? Because it's a tough market right now. Agents are struggling. How are you doing so many deals?
Yeah. So 2021, my business partner and I, with a full-time admin and TC, we did 142 million. It was 240 sides that were actual MLS deals. So that's outside of the flips that we do and other business ventures and things that we do. But simply
crazy.
Just, it was crazy. To be honest, I don't want to ever do it again. But
holy shit, how much money did you make off of 240 deals?
Well, actually, a lot of our on the listing side, we would do, smaller percentages because we would really focus on the acquisitions being like the really fat in the deal. But, between us, we brought in over 4 million in GCI, just like MLS stuff.
Wow. So you made $2 million. You made $2 million profit in 2020. Is that what you're saying?
Here's the deal. It's never profit, right? Because in order to really scale something and turning it into something meaningful that can last, is it's about investing that money into other things, and investing in people, keeping the right people around you, and making sure that when the times get tough, like now, when you have the headwinds coming at you, that you're not turning things off, that you're turning them up. And
So
so
out of that 2 million that you were making, you didn't get to keep all of that 2 million. Like you had to pay for advertising to get that 2 million. Like, is that what you're talking about right now?
we actually didn't do any advertising. This was like simply sphere relationships, investors that we've built businesses with over the course of nearly a decade, even before I was licensed. But the key then is what you can leave sitting on the table is residual business and opportunities. So when you have the wind blowing in your face and you're like, we're making tons of cash. Meanwhile, what's actually happening is you're setting yourself up for failure when those winds change, right? When you have to do a different course, when the market changes, when things that change, they're not evergreen in real estate, things will not stay the same. So what you actually have to be doing is stepping back and seeing the forest, outside of the wood, like outside of the
You
trees. What
gotta
do they
you gotta
say? They say,
predict what's coming next so you can
yeah, you got
pivot.
to say,
Absolutely, hundred
okay,
percent. Yeah.
like not every investor is going to buy every 12 months, not all 12 months of the year, and not all 12 years or 10 years of a decade. So you have to say, okay, what other business opportunities are available that I'm brushing away, that I'm not leveraging into referrals, additional businesses, teams, just what other paths to success can I be blazing right now while things are going good? And that's been one of the things for us that's really helped us become more successful in any market. Is it's like playing on the field like basketball player. You've got to be able to pivot fast to make the goal. Like you can't just always do the same exact thing. It's not always going to work. So
Exactly. I love that you just said that because if something's not working, you have to change it. You know what I mean? Like what's the definition
yes.
of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's never going to happen. You have to change it. So I love that you said that. So, but just doing those 240 deals, making $2 million each, that's a lot of income to be making after what was that, about 7 years in the game, right? 7 years in the business. Now you get up to this level. So you're building your relationships, you're talking to your investors and everything. So I want to hear some advice for some newer agents right now that are just getting into it. Like what would
Mhm.
you tell them to do right now?
Yeah, what I see a lot of with my coaching clients when we first get into conversation is that they're chasing after every shiny object that seems like a short-term goal. Like, hey, if I do this, I'm going to get this. But it's absolutely outside of where their brilliance, where their purpose, where everything that relates to who they are and where they want to go. It's just they're trying the like one size, like thinking everything's like this one size fits all. Like try this on and you're this new person. When and they're stepping over what's right in front of them. So to slow that
What's
down
right in
and to
front of them?
put that into action steps is, if you know 5 people that love and support you and want to see you grow, they know other people. So why are you not investing in those 100 people on your Facebook, or calling the people that already like, know, and trust you, and seeing what kind of opportunities that you can actually create from those? And instead, you're over here chasing cold leads that you're not really good at converting yet because you haven't really developed those fundamental skills to do that new thing and become that new person that you see making all that money. It's like stay here and focus on the one. So my philosophy is you build one pillar perfect to the point where you keep breaking it down to like, can this pillar really exist without you investing most of your time? Can you really get it to the point where it's generating money for you? And once you've got that one thing down, look at them like separate businesses. Now it's time to go open up a new shop. And the new shop is that second pillar. It's that second type of, lead gen or
Niche.
whatever.
I call it
Niche.
niche. I
Yeah,
call it niche.
exactly.
Yes.
So whatever that is, like do one perfect first. So many agents get into the business and they could literally take all the people they know and turn it into a like absolutely rookie of the year business. But then the other agents that come into the business that don't become that rookie, it's because they did not call their sphere. So especially as an agent that did great last year, now you're not, go back to your sphere. So that's my
Now I got a
advice.
question for you because that I like that for a newer agent, using your sphere. That's amazing, obviously, and really
Mm,
focusing on that. So you get the experience and expertise. So you
yeah,
can actually go in there and start getting confident to talk to these cold leads. Because look, as a new agent, you don't know how to open a door, you don't know how to write a contract. So you got to get that,
right.
experience and confidence in. So what about this though? I want to give you a curveball here. What about a brand new agent that has no sphere, has no network? Let's just say they just moved to a brand new state. Then what? What do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe in, the compounding effect. So if you're doing something consistently, for example, if you're going to a new place, did you go with your kids? Did you go with, your spouse that has a job? Where are the people? And then identify where are the people that you wouldn't mind hanging around, that you wouldn't mind servicing, and then create some type of value, right? So what is it that those people need, or what do they want? What do they like to do? Where do they hang out? And then just get out there. I have an agent that I coach and work with that actually is new to real estate, and she created an event with a local business. She goes in a couple days a week into a different business and does an event. So she says, "Hey, come one, come all." Like, she puts it out to like community pages, etc. Creates an event, does an Eventbrite, all that type of stuff. Brings them in. The company benefits. She's getting to know local businesses, and then
They
those
sponsor
local,
it.
yeah, they're totally supporting her. People come in and support their business. They find community there, and then she just talks to every person that's in there. First day in, actually got a multifamily, nearly $1 million buyer lead, and had a consultation the next day. So it's really just,
Damn.
yeah, like
That's
you
like
need to take action though.
wow.
But
That's for anybody that doesn't know, $1
yeah,
million translates to about $25,000 in commission as a brand new
25,000
agent because
plus.
of her strategy that she just said.
Right.
Look, that I love that strategy right there for a newer agent. Listen,
Mm,
there's a ton of new strategies out there that you can be doing, but that's a good one. Partnering up with local businesses. You don't even have to spend a dime of your own money because that business will pay for everything. So you can
yeah.
hold a party, for a couple grand, and that business will pay for everything. They'll hold it at their event right there, and then you get to network. And it serves the purpose of that business and you as well. So that's an awesome strategy. I really like that. Actually, it's funny. I just made a top 10 lead generation strategy video. It's going to come out next week. And that was one of my lead gen strategies, was doing
Mm,
exactly what you just said. So funny that you just brought that up. So is that kind of what, I know you in the beginning, you didn't really go that route. You just used your sphere of influence, right?
no.
So if you were to start over again right now with no sphere or anything like that, is that the one thing you would do right now in this market?
Yeah, I think in this market, again, it's all about value. And if you don't have the confidence that you are the resource, I always say be resourceful until you're the resource. And what does that mean? That means calling the people that know how to do the things. For example, a coach, a mentor, a guide. Get you can literally collapse time with reading all these books and these podcasts, getting in the room with people. So get around people where you can find the answer. Get in a brokerage, get on a platform where you have all the tools in your tool belt for no cost or very little cost a month, so that you don't have to go out and have huge expenses. And then just get into action doing the one thing that you're good at every single day for hours, and do nothing else. And when something else comes up that you have to do transactionally, like administrative tasks, transaction coordinating, paperwork, like all the stuff that maybe isn't in your profile, like that's not who you are, immediately find someone else to do it. Everyone's out there looking for work to do, that they're
Like who?
maybe
Like a
not.
VA?
Yeah, like whatever that fit is, start asking around, find the thing that works for you, but don't start doing all that stuff. Just stay in building that pipeline of business and find someone else to do all the other stuff. Because, for
I agree with you.
example, right,
I,
100%.
I agree with you on this. This is good. Something you said that because what? I think I messed up early on in my career because I
Me
did
too.
everything. I did all my paperwork. I did all my transaction coordination.
Yeah,
I did everything. Literally a solo
yeah.
agent. Making $500,000 a year after 2 years in the business, and I was doing it all. And that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. If there was one thing I can go back and change, I would have outsourced that. You can get a VA for like $4 or $5 an hour. All right, $4
Yeah.
or $5 an hour. They
Or if
could be
you
in a
could pay
different
him $20,
country.
whatever you pay him. It's still worth it.
whatever you pay them. Obviously, you want to pay them less, because you want to increase your bottom line. So try to find a cheap one, and guys, reach out to me, email me. I do have a good company that does great VA service, that not
Awesome.
not too cheap, not too expensive. But I'm saying right now, like if I had hired a VA to do a lot of this work for me, I would have probably done double as much as I
Right.
did. And I did 250 deals last
Yeah.
year, so I probably
That's
I
a
probably would have doubled that.
that's the number one easiest path to figuring that out is you have to figure out, okay, if I'm able to do this and get this result, what is my hourly? Like if I were an hourly wage person, what are
Mm,
you worth an hour based on the type of
yes.
results you're able to generate? And you're like, wow, I'm worth $5,000 an hour. Then why are you doing, why are you going you don't have to go grocery shopping anymore. You don't have to clean your house. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
Wait, I
And
shouldn't be grocery shopping anymore? Is that what you're saying? Oh my
I
God,
only
you're changing
grocery
my
shop
mind right now. You're blowing my
I
mind.
only grocery shop to network. Like I love my local favorite grocery store, but for like big stuff or Costco, I haven't been to Costco since 2018, I think it was. My wife and I were talking about that. Why? Because I don't have to go. You can just go to Instacart and have somebody go for you.
That's
But in
actually
terms
shocking me right now that you just said that. I didn't even think about that. Holy crap. I didn't
oh
think about
yeah.
that. Like I should be
And then
working
I
instead of going to
network with the
Costco.
people that come to the door. Yeah, people that
Oh my God.
do jobs like that, they're typically come from somewhere and they're entrepreneurs and they're trying to supplement their income. But I would just say talk to everyone. Like you and I, we have different philosophies. Hiring someone super cheap, that's your philosophy. I think it works. Especially, but what they don't know
Not
is
too
that you
cheap.
can't,
Not too cheap.
no, not too
Yeah.
cheap, but what people may not understand until they hire VAs is that you actually have to do the work to be able to take people with lower skill sets. If you're hiring on the lower end, you have to train them, and you need someone like Andy or myself to be able to help you have a plan for when you first hire them. You're like, here you go, magically make all of my tasks go away. You have to have that task nailed down to like the perfect training. You have to
See,
have
see,
everything ready to go.
so that's why I think that I believe that, after maybe, because what you said, become the expert in that one thing, right? Then
Yeah.
you can move on. Well, it doesn't take that long to become an expert in something. What, maybe,
No.
6 months to a year if you're really
Depending
focusing
on
on
what it
one thing and
is.
one thing only. Depending on
Yep.
what it is, obviously. I mean, listen, you're not gonna become like the grand master of it, but you might become good enough where you can train after 6 months to a year, you can train a VA, to do
Mhm.
these simple tasks
Or
of
have someone
writing up a
else train them
contract.
for you. It might outrun you.
Or hire somebody to train them for you. Yeah, if you're bringing in
Yeah.
enough money, that's actually a good. I see. That's something I didn't even think about as well. Hire somebody to train your
Yeah.
VA. Holy crap, that's an amazing idea. Well, I could learn a lot from you. I want to. I got some more questions for you then too. So
Okay.
for then let's talk about, because that was some amazing tips for like some newer agents, right? Let's talk about some more experienced agents, okay? Because listen, you've been doing this for almost what, 10 years now, probably, yeah, around 10 years. So you have a wealth of knowledge. I've only been doing this for like 3.5 years. I haven't even seen too many different markets, right? I've experienced a lot in a shorter period of time, but you've experienced more than me. And I want to know from you, for an experienced agent that's doing really, really well right now and like scaling up slowly, like what's some tips for experienced agents to start growing, more than they are right now?
Yeah, I would say inspect everything. Do an audit of what you're doing. Because when things are going great, it's like, "Psst, psst, psst," whatever, like, yeah, just throw money at everything. A lot of people do that. But now it's like when you're kind of feeling like you need to keep things a little tighter in order to scale and grow from here, you really need to inspect everything and question it. Is it directly tied to the result that I want?
A money producing activity.
Yeah, money, yes, a money producing activity, but really is it where you really want to go ultimately? Like, are you asking yourself, what do you want? What do you want out of this? You even want to sell real estate. You could be
Ooh.
successful in real estate and not sell real estate. Like, what is it that you want? Because for me, hitting 10 years in real estate is like, it's not, it's a wall
How
that
do you
you hit
feel
and
about
you
real
go,
estate?
oh my
How do you
God.
feel
Like,
about real estate now? Tell me your feelings about real
I
estate after
love
10
real
years.
estate, but there's certain things that you burn yourself out on if you let them. So, for example, you know, do I ever want to have a conversation with a real estate agent about how to open the lockbox? Like, no. But do I want to provide really great service to the real estate agent that's showing the house and opening the lockbox? Yes. So that is what you inspect. And then you question yourself, like, are you irritated by the real estate agent that called you about your listing and they can't get in? Yes. But is it because of them
Mm.
or is it your problem? It's your problem. You need to fix it. And some of the best feedback that I got actually yesterday, it was funny enough, it's why I thought of this example, is that I've created a system that works. And I have certain protocol and processes in place for when I take a listing and what happens and how it's conveyed and communicated in the service that's provided to the agent. And they said, hey, thanks so much. The showing was so easy. I appreciate your communication. I did not talk to them and I did not do anything.
What did you do different? What's the system?
No, I'm kidding. It's easy. Number one, number one is have a system. So, like for example, same thing with clients or agents is communicate to people through your voicemail everywhere that they can find you. Like if they call 911, you want the operator to literally say, like, hey, if you're at Jessica Nto's listing, like this is where you could call and this is where you can find the lockbox and this is what you should do and this is how you submit your offer and this is the status and this is when Jessica might call you back if you need to talk to her, but better yet,
So
if you send an email, like
you're providing
you like
concise
answer,
information.
yeah, like you take the fact sheet and you like compress it into a message and make sure that everywhere they can find you, they get the message because then they breathe, then they have the information they need, and then you're actually not required to take an action.
So I think I know what you're talking about here. So you're basically taking like the broker's remarks, maybe even like the public remarks, the showing time
Their
request sheets,
website,
and you're
sure.
making sure you have everything step by step in order on those, platforms where it's going to be automatic, where you're not going to have to do anything once you do it one time. Like you do it, what do you do it right? So you don't have to do it twice. There's like some kind of
Yeah, it's
saying,
even
right?
like,
So you do it the
yeah,
first time.
measure twice, cut once. Yeah.
Well, that's a
And
good one. Yeah.
but so going back though to like the general advice that applies to everything is that if you feel frustrated, if you get annoyed, if someone's driving you crazy, I have the three rule like three times. If it annoys me, I'm either not doing it anymore, someone else is going to do it, or I'm going to discover what I'm going to decide or inspect and find what I'm doing wrong to cause the problem. Because most likely it's me that can fix it. I can't make it go away by changing people. So, how can I fix the problem? And I've been able to build some really, really good success with that strategy.
That's funny that you're talking about problems because I've
Mm.
been realizing over the last few months, my strongest skill, and I think why I'm so successful, I'm a problem solver at the highest level. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you are too. Because I've been talking to a lot of very successful entrepreneurs, CEOs of
Mm.
companies, best-selling authors, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm realizing aside from everybody being very sharp and intelligent and hard workers, which is just a given, everybody's a really good problem solver because what I'm
Mm.
realizing is just life in general, but like your business, you're gonna have so many problems. 90% of the time, it's gonna be issues, right?
Mm.
10% of the time, you're gonna succeed. 90% of the time, you're gonna be failing and then trying something different, right?
Mhm.
So you have to be an amazing problem solver. Talk about that a little bit because it sounds like that's something that you're very good at.
Yeah, I would say it's all about taking ownership, right? And same thing is like solving problems isn't always going to be about the problems that are right in front of you that are driving you crazy. But I will touch on that real quick and then go to what are the problems that you're not facing or seeking so that you can grow and where you need to be uncomfortable. But the problems that are in front of you are the easy ones because they're annoying you, they're nagging you, they're clearly defined, you can articulate what they are, so you can fix them. How do you do that though? The problem is that most realtors that I find don't fix the problems. They blame everything for the problems, right? Yeah.
Oh, not taking
But
accountability.
taking accountability, but two is cutting. Oh, I don't have time to fix that. Oh, I don't have time to set up a automation with Zapier. Oh, I don't have time to hire someone. I'm too busy. It's like just make time because Andy, you and I think relate on this is that the reason why you get paid at a higher level and you get paid more money for most of the work that you've done has been behind a closed door, right? Where you get no credit
Yes.
and nobody sees what you're doing, but it shows up in how you are. It shows up in how you show up. It shows up in what kind of platform and processes and systems and professionalism that you have because of the work that you did behind the closed door when nobody saw you working and you get that stuff done. The second one though is getting uncomfortable. And it's don't stay in your same circle. You can love on your people, but go out and, like you said, talking to entrepreneurs, authors, collapse the time with their brilliance. Andy, you didn't have to do this for 10 years to make the money that you've made. You
It's
didn't,
true.
you
Yeah.
actually, your first year is a better year than most agents have in 10 years.
It's true. I made 80K my first
So
year. Yeah.
yeah, and then I would say, to solve problems is to challenge your own beliefs. For example, I had a TC that was, it was 15 minutes. I timed every task every time she wrote a listing agreement, drafted it, I reviewed it, she sent it out, get it signed, file it. The whole thing took 15 minutes. So if you're doing 25, 30 listings a month like I do, that becomes expensive. Think about it. So, and I actually have a different philosophy. I pay people more money, but I get
Ooh.
higher skill people that I trust, and they're autonomous and they come to me already knowing how to do the things that I don't know how to do.
I-
But both have a purpose.
how much? I like this. How much? How much? Because I'll be
Well,
honest. I
you're in
pay my
Florida,
VA
I'm
like,
in California.
yeah. How
So,
much?
but
Well, I just want to know actually. What's
paying
the
somebody
price?
25 bucks an hour where I know
Whoa.
they're never going to leave me. It's different. Um,
Wait. Is this a person right by your side? Is this like a human being, like
uh,
not, in like India or
No,
something?
it's actually, she works virtually. She was laid off from a
Wow.
brokerage that I worked for before I was licensed many, many years ago. And she's a senior. She had basic computer skills, but now she has like great computer skills. But she works virtually. She does a lot of like my handwritten notes that I send out. She does a lot of management of my online profiles. Like, for example,
Huh.
I will have her write, I will put reviews based on like a level, and like she'll help me write reviews about other realtors. She'll send review requests to my clients. She'll scrub and alert me of maybe opportunities to connect with people that I'm not connecting with enough on social media. She does all
She works
kinds of
7 days
things.
a week. Does she work 7 days a
No,
week?
I have her work
No.
because of like the high money making activities that I have her do. She's one staff member, but she works 4 days a week. And she works 4 days a week and kind of vary sometimes the hours. She makes her own hours as long as she does the things that she does. So she's not an employee; she's 1099, and she loves it. And but anyway, the point is like again, Andy, it's not the one size fits all, right?
Yes. No, but I like, you know what? Honestly, I'm liking the way this sounds. You're basically, what I'm hearing is you're creating a second you. Is that kind of what you're doing? You're
Yeah,
creating a
like I
second you.
can't show up in that sort of more that I move fast, like bulldozer style. Like, so for me, like sitting and kind of like scrubbing and combing through things like would drive me insane. Like I can't be on social media all day looking at content. I need to be creating content. So yeah, it works for me.
You know what? You're changing my mind because I've talked to multiple people that are saying the same thing, that they found their assistant that is so good, and obviously you have to pay a lot of money for that. So
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I personally, and listen, I'm an experienced agent as well. I just hired a VA this year. Everything else I was doing on my own for the previous 3 years before that, and this year I hired one. I honestly I like my VA. I think he does a
I
fantastic
still
job
use
for
VAs.
what I
Yeah, I
pay
use
him.
VAs
But
as well.
yeah, but I think I agree with you. I think I need to, because I'm at a high level right now, and a lot of other agents right now that are
Mhm.
watching this are going to be at high levels as well, and we want to know, how do we expand even more? And I think one of the keys that I'm hearing from you is hiring somebody for more money that's going to be a replica of yourself. And I think that's what I'm going to try. Actually, from talking to you today, I'm going to go out, and over the next week or two, I'm going to find somebody to do that, and I'm going to pay them a lot of money. So if you're watching this, reach out to me. Emails in the description. Because I'm going to hire somebody now. Because you know what, you just convinced me. And that's an amazing idea. You're a wealth of knowledge, actually. And you know what?
Thanks,
There's
Dan.
one thing that you said before. You're welcome. There's one thing you said before about people, and that was actually really important. And I don't want to glaze over that, right? So you said you can have your friends and hang out with them,
Mhm,
basically, but you said surround yourself with certain people. And that's
mhm,
something I have just learned, right, recently. You obviously, everybody knows this. You're the sum of the 5 closest people you hang
mhm.
around, right? So if you hang around 5 broke bums, who do you think you're going to become, right? You're not going to become successful hanging around these 5 people, or however many people you're hanging around. You want to expand your network into more successful people that align with your beliefs, and then their personalities are going to rub off on you, and vice versa as well. I like that, what you said that. So talk about the people a little bit, because what do you think about people that are hanging around with their old friends who are, maybe doing nothing, that don't have any aspirations, and the person, that we're talking about here, hypothetical person, wants to be successful, wants these aspirations. What do you tell tell them about the friends they're hanging out with if they're no good for them?
Yeah, I think number one is you're not going to realize it till later. Um, so again, it all comes back to self-reflection. Number two, they may say that they want to see you win, but it's not true, because they are not going to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish if they don't also want it for themselves. Um, you got to be around people that want to see you grow. And we talked in the beginning about the reasons why we thought we were coming to EXP, and then we're different than the reasons why we stayed at EXP. And the reason why I've stayed at EXP Realty, like I said, we brought over a small brokerage. We trimmed a lot of fat with that. It's been just amazing. But the reason why we stay is because of the people like you, Andy. Sometimes I forget how I meet people, because we go from like barely becoming acquaintances to buds in such a short period of time, because we're like, bah, 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 bah. This is what we can do together. Oh my God, I do this, I do that. Let's do it together. It's just like, it sounds crazy because it is. It's absolutely insane. And you get this momentum with people that are at a high level, because it's never just about, hey, what can they do for me? It's about what can I give? And then what they give, we put it in the pot, and like we're doing
Right. Yeah.
podcasts and training development. And we get paid for this stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. But
That's
that's
true.
what's happened at
Yeah.
EXP, is just the amount of people that you can actually connect with so easily. If I call an agent in whatever state, call an agent in Montana. Hey, it's Jessica Nto with EXP Realty. Hey, and that's 90,000 agents that we can do that with. And that's been my experience. So
I
get
like that.
around
You just
people.
said that
Yeah.
actually. That was good. Even just talking about EXP, like, listen, guys, I don't care what brokerage you're with. You know what I mean? It doesn't
No.
really matter to me.
Nope.
But if you're around a lot of agents, you have that big networking opportunity. That's why we love EXP, because we have that 90,000 agents, and literally
Crazy.
we have like a workplace chat where we can go and find any
Yeah.
of those 90,000 agents instantly. It's so easy. That's why I like that. But I mean, it doesn't matter about the brokerage. It just matters about the connectability. Can you network with them really easy?
Yeah.
How many agents do they have?
Yeah.
Because I've been
Perfect
approached, I'm
example is
sure.
like, yeah, well, sorry, Andy. We get so
No,
excited,
go
right?
ahead.
But like,
Yeah,
perfect
go ahead, go
example
ahead,
is
go
like,
ahead.
I really want to have a YouTube channel. Andy, you're brilliant. You probably came up with most of the stuff that you're doing to create your success in YouTube. But I would take a guess that some of the stuff that you've learned along the way
Right,
has been because you could pick up the phone and say, "Hey, man, you're crushing on YouTube. How'd you do it?"
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah,
check it out."
yeah,
But if you were to
yep.
call someone from like somewhere else, it might be like, "Yeah, sure, buy my class." Right?
It's so funny you said that, because I have a prime example, literally prime example. So there's a YouTuber, Monica Church. Okay, she's very
Ah,
famous. She has like over 1.5 million subscribers. She had joined EXP Realty. I saw one of her YouTube videos, and she's 1.5 million subscribers. She's making a
wow.
lot of money off of YouTube. I reached out to her. I sent her an email. I caught her attention. Just joined EXP. We started chatting, and she helped me out start my channel, which is amazing. I got to connect with Monica again. I'm sure she's probably not watching this, but I got to connect with her again, because she did help me out when she just joined EXP. And because we had that kind of like, brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever, we actually connected, and she talked to me, even though I was
Mm,
social media wise, I was a nobody when I reached out to her. I
mm.
had 0 subscribers on YouTube when I reached out to her. I had like 5 subscribers on Instagram when
And
I
you
reached
just
out to
hit
followers on
what?
Instagram.
You just hit what
I
with your views? Like
I
80,
oh, oh,
70,000
so
views?
I just hit 70,000 views, and those are like
See, I
mainly
pay
long form. I don't
attention.
really do shorts. Yeah, you do. That's right. Yeah, just that's a lot, and I have almost
Really?
1,400 subscribers now in a few months
Yeah.
of doing this. And the beauty of the YouTube thing for me personally, I've only been spending maybe 5 to 10 hours a week on this. I really have not been devoting any of my time. Now I'm going to start devoting my time, because
Woo.
I actually took your advice and I started training my agents, to kind of replicate what I'm doing, and I'm paying them
Mm,
more now. So it's different than a VA. I have agents working for me now, but they're making
same.
more money than me now. So they're happy because they're making more money than
Wow.
me. I'm making a little bit less, but now I have time to do other things.
See how
Yeah, I
you can
mean,
impact people, just like stuff just
yeah,
slides out of our mouth sometime, and then someone's like, "Oh, hey, I started doing what you said." And like, I'm like, "I said that to you?" Okay, I'm gonna give
yeah.
you this one. This is the reframe, how to change your mind right now and into a new perspective. I was at our national convention last week, and I'm going to tell it in a real story format, because I've been saying this to people, but I don't always hear what the result is if they actually take action. But here's an example. I was standing like impromptu, standing in the Starbucks line with somebody that I knew at the convention. We were just chatting, waiting for a morning coffee, and she says, I feel like there's like this secret extra conference going on. Like, does it feel like that to you? Like, where are all the influencers? Where are all of the top people, the alphas? Where are they at? I don't see them roaming around. I said, well, they're in business meetings. Like, they're having meetings. They're not here to just hang out. Like, they're
They're
probably in a room
busy.
in a meeting. Yeah, they're doing stuff, right? Well, I just feel like, and if she's watching this, the gal, she'll love that I shared it. Because she'd want to change. She loves to change lives too. But here's the deal. She says, but I feel like they should be accessible to us. Like, we're out here doing all this work to help them build what they have. And I feel like they should be accessible to us and be here. And I said, well, I have a little bit different perspective. My perspective is, rather than waiting for an invitation, you start sending the invitations. And so what you need to
Mm.
do is you need to reach out to that person that's top of mind for you, that you feel should be here pouring into you. And you need to say, hey, I'd like to meet. I'm here. You're here. Does this time work? And then they'll say, because she actually put this into action, she texts me like an hour later. She's like, hey, got the meeting. Thank you so much for helping me
How did she get the
reframe.
meeting? Because how did
She
she get the
she
meeting though?
texts them
Because
and they text her back. Yeah, happy to meet with you.
but why? Why did they meet with her though? What value was she providing to them? What was
Right.
she
Well, here's
giving
the
to
thing.
them?
So this had to do with their trade organization, whatever. But the thing is like, hey, this is where I'm at. I need your support. Reach out to people. You could put this in a million scenarios, but I guess the message I want to convey is, don't wait for people to invite you to where you want to be in the room you want to be in. Just invite yourself. And if you have to pay to get into that room first, do it. And then start adding value, pay attention, listen, give, but get into the room with those people that want to see you grow or will help you grow or have grown to where you want to grow. So
I like what you just said there at the very end as well, because providing value, right? Because listen, as a newer agent experience, whatever it
mhm.
is, you got to provide value to people. If you want something
Yes,
from somebody else, why are they going to give you their time? Like they don't owe you anything, right?
right.
And if you have that kind of mindset that people owe you something, garbage,
Mhm,
get rid of that mindset immediately. You owe them for their
mhm.
time, okay? So that's why I like what you said. Provide value.
How can I
You got to
support
give
you?
them something,
Yeah.
incentivize them. How do I
Yes.
support you? How do I help you? Give them value first. Okay,
Mhm.
get whatever you can, get creative. Think about whatever kind of value that you could provide to them, and then trust me, it'll come back to you
Yes.
tenfold. What you put out is what you get. Positive vibes, positive energy will
Mhm.
bring you back positive vibes and positive energy. If you're always thinking negatively and thinking this and thinking that, and always complaining, guess what you're going to get back? You're going to get that right back, right in your face.
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to be right. That's
Yes.
what I believe in, and
And people
it's
want to
taken
be
me
seen,
years to learn this.
right?
People want to be seen
Exactly.
and heard, right?
People want to be seen.
Yeah,
And I actually have built really great relationships with people, not on accident because I'm purposeful with what I'm saying, but with influencers and I say influencers just because it's a word that people relate to. They know what that means.
yeah.
Just means somebody accomplishing something. Maybe they're not a social media influencer, but just somebody who's an authority on a certain topic. And simply by, rather than going up to someone at a conference and saying, hey man, you were amazing. Everything you said was so killer and it was amazing. You are a badass, whatever. You're amazing. Instead of that, why not go up to someone and say, hey, from last year to this year, I just want you to know that I see your growth, and the way that you're impacting people is changing lives, including mine. And I'm so grateful to you and I'm so proud of you. How many people that are achieving things on a high level have somebody approach them and say, hey, I see you. I'm proud of you? Like zero, I swear to you.
Yeah, yes. I
Yeah.
honestly, it's funny you said that because I get that sometimes now. Like
Mm,
sometimes, like just get random messages. They don't
mm.
want anything from me, nothing at all. And it's like your YouTube videos are inspiring me. I was about to quit
Yeah.
real
You're
estate,
like,
and now I'm not
what?
going to quit real estate and everything. I'm like, whoa. And they're like, I love your energy. I love your videos. I'm like, holy crap. They don't want anything. They're just like complimenting me, and I'm like, oh, I like this person now. Like this person, like
But
I
it
want to do
fuels
something for you
you,
back
right?
for saying that.
And it fuels you. And typically the response you'll get from someone on that is like, well, what are you doing? How can I support you?
Yeah,
That's how you get
yeah,
into the
yeah,
room. It's easy too,
yeah.
and it's
I
free.
like
Be
that.
genuine, be authentic, and be kind to people and pay attention. So, like you,
I
70,000 views. Why do I know that? Because I actually look at, the people that I want to see grow, that I appreciate and love. I actually like, have a time block, like, hey, here's your free time this week to look at these people that you follow, that you're paying attention to. Look at their content. What are they doing? How are they doing? That's very different than just scrolling through, wasting your time.
You're
Uh,
intentional with it.
I'm intentional. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's good. I
Yeah.
like that. Listen,
Yeah.
this is all
Thanks, Andy.
absolutely wonderful. You're welcome. Listen, because you're such a wealth of knowledge. I want to talk about the market, the housing market. I want to pivot a
Woo!
little bit, talk about the housing market,
Sure.
right? Because I honestly, I think we've both, and you in particular, I think you just provided so much value to new agents, experienced agents, how to grow and everything. So you just changed my life too. I'm gonna implement a lot of new things moving forward just because of what you just said to me, and everybody else. So I want to talk about the housing market right now because there's a lot going on, right? I mean, there's a few things
Yeah.
we can unpack really quick. One thing I want to first NAR and the NAR and the Remax, the whole lawsuit and everything. What's your thoughts on this? Because this is big right now, right? This is big.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this whole lawsuit? For those that don't know, there's a class action multi-million-dollar lawsuit that
Yep.
basically wants to take away the buyer's commissions from the buyer's agents. Okay, they don't want the seller to have to pay for the buyer's commissions anymore, and not like mandatory. You know what I mean? And take it away. So,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts on this whole entire, Remax settling for 50 million, NAR getting into their whole entire spiel? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier. You can't control the result, but you can control how you are going to react and how you're going to take action. Buyers need representation. There's buyers out there right now in terms of just the market that need representation. They've been out there searching for years or months or whatever long, and they have a reason why they need to buy, and a seller has a reason why they need to sell. So stop focusing on just going to get those buyers or sellers because you need to make a commission, and try understanding what their problem is and why they haven't achieved it and why they're stumbling, and find the solution, get creative, tighten up your circle of people that you use for services, and understand what you're doing. But for the NAR
But
thing,
yeah.
yeah, I'll just say
The
with the
commission,
NAR,
though. I really want to talk about the commission really quick because
yeah,
what if they actually say, buyers, listing agents don't have to pay,
here,
sellers don't have to pay the buyer's agents anymore. What
here's the
what
good
what if that
news.
happens?
I mean, it's controversial because I see two sides of it. For the consumer, I'm concerned about the consumer because the lending laws will need to change so that we can bake those commissions into the loan. Um,
Wow.
but they need that service, right? So this is what I'll say as a real estate agent: stop worrying about whether it's going to happen and start getting back to the fundamentals of the value that you give a buyer. What is your team giving to the buyer? How can they do it the best, be known as the best, and be marketing yourself as the best so that it's clearly articulated to someone why they're going to work with you, what they're paying for, and how you're going to get them to what they want. What is their pain and how do you get them there? And when you start focusing on what you're selling, which is the service, you're already doing it to get their business. But if it's coming so easy to you, then you need to really map it out so that you can be selling the best service. And they're not going to sell it because of who you are and what you've done. They're going to buy the service. They're going to need the service and want the service because you're going to fix their problem. And that's what you guys need to focus on.
So you think that these buyers now are, the buyers are going to actually be a little bit more picky now who they hire to,
Well, they
help them
should have
because now
been
they're going to be
before.
potentially paying.
They should have been
But
before,
do you
right?
think? Wait, but because there is still the possibility they should have been before. Do you
Yeah.
think there's a possibility that even if this whole thing goes through, that the sellers, are still going to say, you know what, we still want to pay the buyer's commissions? Do you think the listing agents will be able to? This is my thought process behind this, right?
Yeah, I think
Listing agents
so.
are also buyer's agents, right? They're
And I
listing
think
agents
those
and buyer's agents.
listings,
They're the same person.
100%. Those people are absolutely going to stick out. My investors, we talk about commissions all the time. We obviously know, in order to get the property sold faster, we need to offer the right commission. And I'll tell you, that is going to stand out. You're still going to be a seller is still going to be able to say, I want to pay a buyer's agent, right? You can't tell a seller they
Because they
can't
have the option.
offer something.
They'll have the
Yeah, if
option.
they have the option, then those listings, whoo, because the
There's
path of
fly.
least resistance, they're just gonna fly off a shelf, right?
So what do
Um,
you think that listing agents should be able to now, if this really goes through, convince the sellers, hey seller, it's not a wise idea to take away the buyer's commission because our property is going to be sitting on the market. We're going to get lowball
yeah,
offers from people who are not serious, don't know
I've
what the hell they're
already
doing,
been
and have
having
bad
that
agents.
conversation. Yeah, I've already had that conversation
Mm.
for years with sellers, especially
So
traditional sellers. I'll say, listen, here's your listing, and then here's the listing down the street, and they're like for like. And so do you want the agent to drive their clients all the way up into the driveway, or do you want them to drive to the other house? Because now sitting, if we have a shortened pool of buyers or smaller, pool of buyers, and they're going to sell that one first, like yours is sitting. And that's just the reality of the situation. It's already true. So I think that it's really about, number one, getting back to the fundamentals, tightening up your pitch, your packages, your services, your offerings, getting everyone trained on having the right conversations that convert, and just leveling up the service that you provide. If you think, again, you do the self-reflection and you're inspecting, how good is my buyer service? What do I actually provide? And go all in.
Do you think that the seller should pay the commission? I was always wondering this, what agents thought about this. Do you think it's fair that the seller pays the buyer
The
and
seller pays either
the
way.
listing agent commission?
So
They
the
pay,
seller pays either way. This is the way I look at it. So we bought
yeah,
a lot of houses on auction platforms back in the day, and not recently,
yeah.
but we bought hundreds. And when you have those platform fees or technology fees or whatever, so from an investment, not every homeowner is looking at every purchase like down into a formula of what their return is going to be year over year. But when you look at it from an investment perspective and you say, okay, what are you baking in there to generate what your offer amount is? To calculate your offer amount, you're baking in the cost. So if a buyer is going to pay a commission and they say, well, I got to pay, 10 grand to the agent, then I'm going to pay 10 grand less for the house.
Less.
So
Oh,
end of the day, it's, the seller always pays.
they're always paying no matter what. So
Yeah.
oh,
Is the
God,
buyer paying it?
yeah,
Yes, they're always paying it. The buyer's always paying it out of their
yeah,
pocket,
yeah,
but the cost
yeah.
also hits the seller on the seller side every time, no matter what. So to me, again, I can't control what's going to come, but I am ready for any of it.
Ready for any of it. Yeah. I mean, listen, the strong will survive. That's always gonna be the case. But I do think, as agents and top successful agents, I think we should spread the message to all the listing agents out there. Listen, try to keep convincing these sellers to still pay both. Don't
Agreed.
change. Don't try to fix what's not broken. Because I don't agree with this lawsuit nonsense at all in the slightest. I mean, did you just see what happened with Grant Cardone? He got sued. I don't know if you've seen that lawsuit for the past few years. Did you see that? You know what that is?
I can't keep up. I don't watch the news, so I don't.
Well, listen,
I read,
listen,
but I don't know what happened with Grant.
This is crazy stuff. This fired me up. I watched this last night. Grant Cardone just, if everybody doesn't know Grant Cardone, he's like a
Just look it
multi-billionaire,
up. Yeah,
one of
you
the
don't
biggest
really
real
need to.
estate moguls in the whole entire planet, right? So he had somebody sue him, some investor. He has an investor fund. He let accredited and unaccredited investors invest in his fund, right? He had I don't know, something like 20,000 investors over the past few years doing this. And then all of a sudden, one unaccredited investor for a $10,000 investment goes and sues him. Grant just dropped a video on this, and the whole reason why this guy filed this class action lawsuit, nobody signed up aside from this one guy, by the way. It was publicity. The agency, the law firm that was actually, doing the lawsuit, apparently that's what Grant said. I'm just repeating what he said, by the way. He said that this lawsuit just did this for the publicity so they can get more cases and more clients out of this. It was a frivolous lawsuit. And, listen, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an expert, but I mean, the whole, lawsuit that's going on now with the buyers and stuff, I don't know. Is this really real? Was this really needed? Is this something? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's real? I mean, do you think it's deserved, necessary?
No, I don't think so. But again, it's like every law. I mean, I'm in California. We have a lot more laws than you all have. So,
yeah.
So for me, every year, right, the new one comes on, the layers of laws, and it's because some moron went out and ruined it for us all. But the key is that, listen, headwinds, crystal ball thrown out. We were here comes the recession, here comes this, here comes that. Stop waiting for it and do it anyway. No matter what. Grant's not going to stop doing what he does,
No, he didn't stop it. Now, but I like what you just said about recession coming and planning. Nobody has a crystal ball. Now that's my second question for you, and we'll wrap up after this one too. Housing market right now, recession coming, inflation, high interest rates, low inventory, high housing prices. What is going on with the housing market right now? We're about to hit 8% mortgage rates. That's what I just read, where it's coming. I
Yeah.
remember back in I was born 1970s or so, we had like 14, 15, 16%. I think it was like 16% interest rates. Right now, we're still only half of that. What do you think is going to happen to this housing market in the coming years? Because I personally do not think at all for a second this is sustainable. I think something will give. I personally think the market will crash. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has great interest rates that are locked in. There's a high percentage of that, but I'll say, at our national convention, it was really great because rather than just partying and having fun on stage, our company actually focused on where is the housing market now, what's going on. We had Mike Del Preet there, who's like the data ninja. Michael Valdez, Leo Pareja were talking about exactly this. And the one interesting statistic for me is the consumer confidence and the consumer spending always typically being right in line, and they're actually not. So the consumer confidence is low, but consumer spending is still high. And so I think it's really about, so a recession coming. Yeah, absolutely. It could happen. Does it mean the housing market crashes? I mean, how much worse could it get? We don't have anything to sell and we have demand. I think the key right now is focusing on where you should be based on what is happening, what's trending. And so number one is get creative with the people that you're already serving, find solutions to their problems rather than trying to add more clients, convert and close at a high percentage or 100% of who's right in front of you. Number two is focusing on they're not going to be a huge REO market. It is absolutely not going to happen because many of them will still have equity. And so focus on those sellers that couldn't get it sold with their listing agent. Expireds. Focus on another one was focusing on vacant properties that have equity that are in default or having issues, or people that are in default. And we become conditioned as realtors when you go through trends and you go, oh, expireds, like that's hard work, or oh, everybody's reaching out to people that have delinquencies. Everybody's doing that. It's too saturated. Yeah, you're right. There's going to be another realtor that's going to get that lead because you didn't call them. Period. So
that's why. Yeah, that's why getting creative. I love
that's
that
why
right
it's
there.
hard.
Especially
like do the work.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
That's why what I'm doing with the rentals, I freaking love them so much because it's literally recession proof.
You've got
It
the
doesn't
game
matter if it's a
going.
buyer's market, seller's market. Literally doesn't matter whatsoever. There's always going to be a certain line of,
There's
of
market share
rentals that
too.
you're never going to go below ever.
Yeah.
Oh, always.
And there's market share. Like if you had two competitors come in right now into what you're doing, right, you would still do a huge volume of business. You can't do it all.
I do now. I'll tell you this. I was afraid. Guys, I was literally afraid to tell people my strategy for years. Literally kept it secret. I had so many agents coming up to me. How are you doing this well so fast? And I said, you know what? I'm not telling you, okay? I'm not giving away my secrets because I don't want the competition. All right. So now I am giving away everything. Obviously I make my YouTube videos. I give away a lot of my information. And then the rest of it, the in-depth details, A to Z, the things that takes me, hours to explain to people, diagrams, this and that. I do the one-on-one coachings for that now. And I do actually teach people and they're doing so well. It's crazy. They're making tens of thousands of dollars. I'm actually thinking I'm not charging enough. I truly don't even think I'm charging people enough because they're making so much goddamn money now
either,
off
man.
of my teachings. But I agree with you. I 100% agree with you right now that yes, listen, this rental market in particular, it's going to it will get saturated eventually because I swear to God, I am going to make it saturated. I'm going to make it to the point where doing rentals is not taboo anymore because right now it is. For a real estate agent, if you're doing rentals, that's taboo. That's something that your mentors, your team leaders, your brokers, they all tell you do not do rentals whatsoever. And I think that's BS. And I'm going to change that perception on that. I am going to completely teach every single person, every realtor that wants to learn how to do rentals and succeed at the highest level, make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year based off of that. And I guess what? It's going to take years for the market to become saturated. So if you get in now and start doing it now, you can position yourself as the expert in your local area. Yes, I'm the expert in South Florida down here. And yes, I did create this strategy, but you could also be the expert in, let's say, Arizona, Texas, New York, California, wherever it is right now. do it now before it becomes saturated. So that's my rental strategy method. I think it will become a big thing over the coming years because I'm gonna make it that way. Whatever I put my mind to, I will succeed at. And that's the mentality that most people should have, right? You want something done, do it yourself, get it done. Obviously, bringing some team members on to help you out along with it. But if you want something done, get it done. That's what separates the winners from the losers, is we think that nothing is out of reach. Nothing is impossible. Yeah. If you want it hard enough, you put your time and energy and effort into it, you will get it. Okay, so I just rambled a little bit.
No, man,
got fired up
you're
there.
dropping the knowledge. Like, that's it.
I got fired up there.
Yeah,
no, but
it's,
I just
it's real. It's real. I've literally gone in when I'm absolutely crushing it. I've gone to my investors that have big portfolios of rentals that I've helped them buy. And I've said, hey, I notice we've got a couple that aren't leasing as high as they could. Why? Because if they don't lease as high as they can, we can't buy as much. So I've gone to them and said, what can I do? And I've put hundreds of properties on the market as rentals. They manage it, goes to them, whatever, brought in the leads so I can have the upsell conversations, or my team can, in order to convert faster and at a higher rental rate, right? Or at a rental rate with just getting more attention by doing the right marketing or the right photos or the right whatever. But the key is like,
you're doing
there you go.
Too.
Like, you're adding value, but because you're adding that value, it's created more opportunity for me. So yeah, don't step over, like, write the list of the 5 people that already know, like, and trust you that you haven't talked to about real estate. Call them, ask them, hey, how can I support you in what you're doing? And then who do you know that might want to have a conversation with me? Instead of like, how can I get 10 cold leads today? Do that first, then start learning how to convert cold leads. And if you're already a productive real estate agent, get a coach, get a guide. You can find me. We do very different things, but
where can they find you? Where can they find you?
I'm JessicaNto.com. You can find me on Insta, Facebook, Google. You could Google my name. You'll find me. I'm not there's one other Jessica Nto online, and she's a murderer. That's not me.
You're the you're the nice one. Yeah.
I'm the not
you're the respectable one. Yeah. So now everybody, I like what Jessica said there. Listen, yes, you can do it on your own and you can eventually succeed with trial and error. But if you want a shortcut, hire a coach, whatever kind of, listen, guys, whatever kind of niche that you enjoy doing. If you don't like doing rentals, do not come to me for coaching. Don't watch my videos because you don't like doing rentals. So it's a waste of time for you, right? And how do we know if it's a waste of time? We try it out. Try it out for 3 to 6 months, right? Absorb everything, learn everything, research everything, do your homework, and then try it out for 3 to 6 months. And then if you like it and it's working, great. Maybe that's the calling for you. That's the niche that you should be choosing. But if it's not, move on to another one. You could do open houses. You could do FSBOs. You can do, my rental strategy. You could do door knocking, cold calling, farming. I mean, the list goes. Businesses. I was talking about before, local businesses. I mean, social media. I mean, there's so many different lead generation strategies you could do. Pick one that you think that you will like and then run with it for 3 to 6 months, because you got to give it some time to see if it's working, if you enjoy it. And then that's how you build a successful career and business. It's literally that simple.
I have 3 coaches. So it could be Andy. It could be another coach. Yeah, I have 3.
Whatever niche that aligns with you.
And it's not even niche like that someone to keep you, to push you to be capable at a higher level. And then you need someone to coach you where you're trying to go exactly. And then someone that's maybe like a speaking or a communication coach or whatever. But invest in yourself. I've invested over $500,000 in myself. And I feel like sometimes you get to like a whole year and you're like, I finally have the courage to do this for the right reason, and not just because I want the money, but because it's like, it's now I've become that person that's able to do it because it's my purpose and I own it, right? Like,
and it's good what you're just saying. And obviously, we charge thousands of dollars an hour to talk to people and give them this kind of knowledge. So I really hope, everybody watching really absorbed a lot of this, because this is such valuable information that will take your career and business to the next level. So if you guys want some one-on-one, some mentoring, some coaching, reach out to me, reach out to Jessica. You can find her at JessicaNto.com. You can email her. You can go to her Instagram. Okay. And guys, you know where to find me, andy.coleman1186@gmail.com. I am actually creating my website right now to have my course all set up on my website right now. I am doing the one-on-ones though, so reach out to me through email for that. Guys, try your hardest. Okay. Don't give up too fast. 90% of real estate agents end up quitting real estate. It's not the way to go if you're enjoying real estate. If you don't like it, go find something else. But if you enjoy doing real estate, there is zero reasons why you cannot succeed if you like doing this. Okay. For all the reasons that we just specified before. So, Jessica, thank you so much. Actually, you know
Thank
what?
you,
I
Andy.
want to ask you one follow-up question. Okay. If
Sure.
you had to give advice, right before we leave, if you had to give advice, right, to a newer agent or any agent right now, just what's your one piece of advice to do, for an agent right now?
Yeah, I would say do the hard work first, develop your own philosophy, and really spend the time to figure out what your course is, so that when you take action, you're not just fumbling around, faking it, and going through the motions. You're actually executing things that will bring the results that you deserve. So hang in there and have fun too. We have fun. This
Have
is too
fun.
much
Have
fun.
fun. I wake up every day with a smile on my face. I know Jessica does too. Jessica, thank you so much for
Appreciate you,
coming on today.
Andy.
This was
Love
one
you,
of my
brother.
favorite, interview podcasts I've ever done. Honestly, this was amazing. I mean, the value that you just dropped was like phenomenal. So, guys, for everybody watching, hit the like button. Okay, drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about our interview over here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because 73% of you are not subscribed. So smash that subscribe button, everybody.
That's it.
All right, that's it. We're done. We're out.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye, Andy. See
All
ya.
right, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Not bad.